Now that we got it tight, we're gonna clean this off with the brake fluid. So welcome back to the channel this afternoon. It's been about a week since we diagnosed what was wrong with this boat, and that's because we had to find parts for it that we were looking for, and they obsoleted the parts on this trailer, so we had to find an upgrade kit for it, which required new rotors, new bearings, new disc brake, calipers, the entire thing. Even though we were going to change it, we weren't going to change all the bracketry and everything. So now we're going to have to do that, and let's get started. Okay, since this is an upgrade kit, this whole piece has to come off here, along with all of the caliper, what's left of it, and then we replace it with this here, and it bolts directly to where these bolts are. Instead of having all the bracketry, they simplified it and went to a smaller rotor, but it's actually rated at the same amount of weight. So we're gonna go ahead and get all this stuff apart here and get going. Packing the bearings now. Got to get a bunch of grease in here. This is old school bearing packing that we don't have a tool over here with us right now. So you got to squeeze in here like this, a little bit at a time. Then eventually it comes out of the bearing. There it comes out right now. And you just turn it a little bit until you get it all through the whole bearing. Then you put it back in the race over there on the rotor. You want to do this with gloves on, obviously, to save your hands from the cancer-causing grease. In the old days, we used to do it without gloves on, before we understood what was going on with all of this. And that's bearing number 1. got the bearings all greased. We're going to put the rear grease seal in, the inner grease seal here, and it's got to be pounded in. So we're going to use the old school trick also, because we don't have the proper bearing seal installer here. We're going to use a board to do it, because it produces pressure evenly around the whole thing, so you don't wind up damaging the bearing or the seal. So now it's all in. We're just going to get a little bit of grease here. Grease the seal up. Then we're going to gently put this on here. Then we're going to put this one in. Get on there. And the retainer washer and retainer nut, and we'll try to get this all on here. For some reason, I don't know. You want to tighten these up all the way and give it a heavy snugging. Pretty tight, and then turn it to seat the bearings. Then you want to back this off until you get the nut to line up with the cotter pin hole, which I don't know where it is. I have to find it. I need to take it off because I can't find it. Okay, I got it. Got it now. Let's try this again. Seat the bearings again and back it off just until you get to that spot. Shove the cotter pin through it. Then you bend the cotter pin up, and now it's locked. You're good and tight. Okay. Now that we got it tight, we're gonna clean this off with brake clean, because there's always some kind of coating on here so that it doesn't rust. And I said some kind of coating because different companies use different things. I don't know what coating this one is, but we just need to spray it off liberally and make sure the coating's gone. Wipe it down so that the brake pads will seat. Just like that. Okay, so because they've been sitting on the shelf, the disc piston has come out. The caliper piston has come out, so it won't fit on the over the rotor. So we're gonna squeeze down on this a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, to make sure that it's fully seated. I'm using the other pad that's from this side to go up against the other pad so that I'm not damaging the two pads. Okay, it's all the way in, so now I'm going to take this out. Slide the pads out. Now, like I said, it removed all of those other brackets, so this bolts directly to where the bracket used to bolt to up here. So it's a lot simpler system than it used to be. Gotta get these all tight here. I have to torque them down to 55 foot-pounds is what they said these are supposed to be at. They have pre-installed red Loctite on them, so they will not come out. So we get them tight, and then we'll use the torque wrench and torque them all down. Trying to find the right size. I probably should have done this before I got the bolts in here. There's the right size, okay. Short one. Ideally, this would be up higher so that I wasn't struggling with the ground here, but we're doing it as anyone else would do it in their driveway. So we'll get the torque wrench and tighten these up here in a minute. I gotta try to figure out on this brake line here that I've bent out of the way. I'm gonna have to get it into this side. I might have to loosen this up and turn it up from the way it is right now. So what we are going to do now is try to hook up the brake line to this new caliper and get it off of the old caliper. Let's see if we can get this loose. Oh, there, yeah, it's loose. Okay. Such tight quarters in here. We're gonna brake fluid going everywhere in a minute. Okay, so that's off. Now I already got the thing out, so. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to point this banjo fitting up a little bit. Hopefully it'll go up. I pre-checked that this was a 5/8 on this banjo fitting, so I can turn around and point it up a little bit. Try to get this. Kinda tight. Yeah, we're gonna have to try to do something with this brake line because it's a little bit short right now. I'm gonna have to take some of this loop out of it and get it in here. So I have to either stretch it a little more or something. Because it ain't quite there for sure. So let me try to do that. I think that I should have checked the banjo fittings on these because I think it's the wrong size on that one. So I may have to take this one off and use it on this caliper. just need to torque down the bolts that hold the caliper on, which I need to get an adapter to go down to my smaller 3/8 drive from my 1/2-inch drive. But other than that, this side is complete currently. Okay, so the final thing is to put the bearing buddy on. However, I still need to torque those back ones and bleed the brakes, but I want to put this on to keep from getting the dirt inside the bearings, because this doesn't have a good dust cap on it. It just has a bearing buddy. That's a pressurized grease system that forces grease back into the bearings on a boat trailer. And now that we have that on, we're going to pump some grease in here so that it can set and get back in the bearings. Okay, this is our third day working on this because of family. Got stuff to do with the family, so we don't always get to finish the jobs we're trying to do. But on the third day, we're going to try to torque this down now and then bleed the brakes, and we'll take you along for the ride on that. Hopefully everything goes smooth today so we can get it done and get back to doing what we should be doing. Let me get to this, show you. I got a Cobalt torque wrench here. I checked on the torque of what these are supposed to be. It's supposed to be 55 foot-pounds. So we're going to adjust the torque wrench here to 55. And torque the bolts that are holding the caliper on both sides. When it clicks, that's when it's torqued. This could be an issue here. May have to jack the boat up a little bit more to get in here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So those are tight. Go around the other side. Oh yeah, we finished the other side, but getting it all put together. Finished the other side while the camera was off, because it was the same as this side. So we greased everything and did all that while we were getting ready. So all we gotta do is torque this side, then we're ready to bleed. Okay, they're all torqued down. I'm just going to make sure that all of my my brake lines are all tight, and the banjo will go through that and tighten them up. And this is the bleeder here, which I'll loosen once we get all the pressure into the brake system, because I have a power bleeder we're going to use, and then we'll go from there. So we're now going to put away our torque wrench. We're going to lower the torque so that it's down to 0, so it doesn't wear out the spring that causes it to work. Then we're going to put it away. And now we're going to check and make sure all of our lines are tight here. Go on the other side and do the other side. Okay, so to bleed the brakes so that we don't have to pump it with the truck, we bought a power bleeder, a Motive Products power bleeder from Summit Racing, which one of the tools of the trade of the mechanics that I always talk, that we always work with, and myself, we use these because it makes it much easier to do this job by yourself. So we just get the hose tight on here to where it doesn't leak. Might have to get a new clamp for this. We'll see. And then we're going to pour brake fluid in here. .3 fluid is what we're using. Check for leaks here before we go back and bleed. Don't want to get brake fluid on the trailer paint because it will peel it up. Even though brake fluid is water soluble, it peels paint really easy. At 15 pounds, it's holding. That's good. That'll help us bleed the brakes faster. So we're going to go ahead and use this bowl to catch the fluid coming down off of here. But we should have fluid coming out here in a minute. Oh, there it goes. Get it through till it's nice and clean and no bubbles. Pretty dirty. Okay, so now I got paper towels that I didn't have a minute ago. Brake fluid, like I said, is water soluble, so it won't leave a stain on the driveway. I just don't want EPA disaster going on here, which is not, because very little. But we just want to clean it up best we can, tighten that up. So we're going to go to the other side, bleed it, and that'll be done. Gotta get my bowl back so I can bleed this side. And when you bleed the brakes, since I didn't mention this before, you always want to start with the wheel that is the furthest away from the master cylinder, because that has the most air in it. You want to get that out before you do the other ones. And just like that, they're bled. Now we're going to go to the other side, make sure there's no air again in that side real quick, and then we should be able to put the wheels back on and go test the brakes. Okay, so in the last video I was talking about when I filled the bearing buddies that they would push the grease back into the hub. And see, this one is not even rocking anymore. So now we need to put some more grease in it, because as long as it's rocking, then it's full enough. It's rocking. So that's good enough there. Just gonna clean it all up now. Okay, that one's cleaned up. I'm gonna go around and check the other side, see how that looks. This one's pretty, it's rocking still, so it's okay. This one I'm gonna put 1 or 2 squirts in it because I know it was still empty. Okay, so now we're going to set these down, set the axle down, and I'm going to torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds, which is what they're supposed to be. And then we're going to let the hold, I'm going to get it off the jack stands after I do that. And then we're going to check the front wheels because the bearings could be loose there. So we're going to check those and probably retighten those too. Let me set my torque wrench to 100. On the other side, do the same thing. I have them all pretty good. Okay. Okay, the tire's off. Okay, so what we're here to check is see if the bearings are loose on this. And this wheel moves quite a bit. I know you can't really see it, but I can feel it. I guess you can see it a little bit. Anyway, it's loose. So let me knock off this wheel and get these bearings retightened.